What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be going over my top 5 edge rushers for the 2026 NFL Draft. With that, let's go ahead and get right into it with Akeem Mesidor from Miami. He's 6'3", 259 pounds, very high motor, attacks to the corner, but also has some pretty good inside counters. Strings moves together really well. He's really good with using his hands. Can play inside sometimes on passing downs. Anchor, pretty average, I'd say. Um, Not super long. Like I said, he's 6'3". He will be 25 sometime this month, actually. I just looked it up just now. Yeah, he actually turned 25 this month on the 5th. So he is a little bit of an older prospect. That's okay. Speed to power, I'd say, is pretty average. Can work himself out of the run game sometimes, which is something I really want to see him improve on. Doesn't set the edge as well as I'd like. But as a pass rusher, he does have a pretty good tool bag. He's got a good Euro step. Rushes with a plan and a backup plan, sets his moves up. He also responds to read option pretty well, which I like. Squeezes pretty well. Enough speed and burst, but I wouldn't say he's necessarily elite in either one. I have him as a solid second round, high floor edge rusher. So, moving on to number 4, I've got Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. He's 6'2" and a half, 253 pounds, very bendy, great production, good burst and agility, great outside rush with a really solid inside spin counter. Could stand to improve with his hands a little bit, I would say. Gets moved and knocked around a little bit too easily in the run game. Um, and overall, I'd like to see him set the edge a little bit better. Um, at least for now, you're probably only going to want to bring him in on passing downs until you can kind of work on him as a run defender. But he did have 11 and a half sacks this year, so he does have the production, which is great. Um, could probably stand to get a little bit bigger too. But really solid tool bag. Like I said, very bendy, gets flat really well. I have a early second, late first round grade on him. I really do like this edge rusher class. Moving on to number 3, who is some people's number 1, David Bailey from Texas Tech. 6'3" and 5'8", 251 pounds. Um, Good at defeating the outside hand, which I love. Overall, just good with his hands. He's got good bend. He also gets flat, good speed to power. Bull rush is solid. Stronger than you would expect him to be. Decent spin move. Attacks the outside most of the time, but will occasionally bull rush or spin back inside. Good ball get off. Does a good job of getting under his opponent. Gets low. Not a ton of moves, but he's good at the ones he uses. Um, Mostly just attacks to the outside. Can be a little bit of a one-trick guy, but like I said, he does have the spin move, and he does have the speed to power bull rush as well. I do think there is some room to grow in the run game. Doesn't really stack and shed all that well. Good motor, and he does run to the ball. So, like, if you're running away from him, he has better success. But if you run at him, you're going to have more success against him. Because he doesn't set the edge super well. He kind of plays the run kind of like a linebacker. Um, he might be better as a 3-4 outside linebacker. That being said, we'll see. I also think Cassius Howell is probably going to be better there. Akeem Massador, probably either one's fine. Um, but I forgot to mention that before. Moving on to number 2, we've got Arvell Reese from Ohio State, 6'4", 241 pounds, so a little bit smaller. He's only 20 years old, which is great. And he's a guy that actually plays off-ball linebacker and edge, so it does add a little bit of versatility. But I'm going to be honest, I don't really want to see him playing a whole lot of linebacker at the next level. I just kind of want him as a pass rusher. Now, like 3-4 outside linebacker, of course, um, which is probably going to be where he's at his best. So he's a little bit more raw than some of the people I talked about a little bit. He's a little bit slow to read his keys as a linebacker, so I am going to have to evaluate him as both in this. He gets rid of trash pretty well, athletic, very fast in pursuit, explosive and fast as hell kind of a bit of a ball of clay, especially at linebacker. Could stand to get a little bit stronger at both positions. Gonna need some more coaching and experience. But like I said, he is only 20. Needs to be quicker with his hands, but he is pretty decent with them. Route awareness in zone is a little bit lacking. Gets downhill quickly, very active. Active but delayed hands, good speed to power, will get low and dip under a blocker really well, twitchy. Has shown the ability to actually cover some tight ends and man-to-man coverage, which is kind of cool. Very fluid athlete. As a pass rusher, he's actually got a pretty decent tool bag, and he does rush with a plan. I think this guy can play right now as an edge rusher, and I think he has a huge ceiling just because of how athletic this guy actually is. I don't, like I said, I don't really want to see him as a linebacker. Like I said, he doesn't really read his keys and stuff all that well. I just want to see him set the edge a little bit more effectively, continue building on that tool bag as a pass rusher. But physically, this guy is far and beyond everybody else. I think this guy has a way higher ceiling, and I think he can come in and play pretty well right now. So, yeah. Moving on to number 1, Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami. He's 6'2" and a half, 6'2" and a quarter, 263 pounds. Has some okay bend to him. Good ball get off as well for his size. Very strong, squeezes well, sets the edge really well, which is something I haven't really talked about with other people. This guy is a very good run defender. Keeps his eyes in the backfield well, can stack and shed in the run game. Really, really solid run-stopping edge rusher. He gets his hands up to deflect passes. Very difficult to move. Handles read options really well. Great motor. Good speed to power. Good with his hands. Powerful guy. Plays with good leverage. Very smart player. I think you can move this guy around a little bit. I think you can probably put him inside sometimes on passing downs. I think he's athletic enough to play as a 3-4 outside linebacker, but probably just a defensive end in a 4-3 is probably his best fit. But I like this guy a lot. He has a lot of great physical traits. He has some pretty decent moves to him. He is kind of like Messidor. He does attack to the outside a lot, but he also has some really good inside counters as well. He's got a tool bag. He's a good run defender. I think this guy is the most complete edge rusher in the class. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I appreciate that like button. Hit with questions or comments in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.